I always thought the worst part of turning 18 would be realizing I was officially an adult with no cheat codes to life. But no, turns out the worst part was sitting at a glossy marble dining table worth more than my entire existence in that house, watching my little brother blow out candles on a cake that wasn't even for me. The whole room clapped for him like he was the second coming of Elon Musk's favorite child. Meanwhile, a lopsided, half-eaten slice of cake sat in front of me like a punchline to a joke I didn't realize I was part of. "Happy birthday, Jess," Mom had said earlier, handing me a card written in her rushed cursive. "Be more like him." That was the entire message. No heart emoji, no fake mom inspirational quotes, just a comparison wrapped in disappointment. Everyone laughed like it was wholesome family humor. I laughed too, even though it felt like my ribs were cracking. I'd learned by then that in our house, emotions were like expired coupons. Technically still there, but absolutely worthless. My dad raised his glass to my brother, again, and I stabbed at my sad little cake slice like it owed me money. "Jess, smile," Mom whispered from behind her champagne. "You look ungrateful." Ungrateful. The girl who raised herself, kept the house running, covered for everyone's secrets, and could disappear for days without being noticed. Ungrateful. Damn, that was the moment I realized something brutal. I wasn't the daughter in that house. I was the ghost, a polite, well-trained, unpaid house spirit. And ghosts don't get birthdays. So, that night, when everyone went to bed drunk on expensive wine and easy affection, I grabbed a backpack, the $40 I'd saved from selling old clothes on Facebook Marketplace, and took the bus to the city. I didn't look back. They wouldn't notice anyway. Or at least that's what I thought. 7 days later, my phone buzzed with a voicemail from Mom. Her voice cracked like a window hit by a stray baseball. "Jessica, honey, please come home. We didn't know." The message ended in trembling breaths, and I replayed it once, twice, then threw my phone onto the bed in the tiny rental room I'd hustled my way into. I shouldn't have cared. But damn it, the ache in my chest said otherwise. That's the part they don't tell you about running away. Your anger can be loud as hell, but your grief whispers just as hard. But hold up. Let me rewind. I should tell you who I was before everything burned down. My name is Jessica Hale, and until my 18th birthday, I lived in a mansion on Willowcrest Drive, a neighborhood where everyone pretended money could bleach their souls clean. Luxury homes, overpriced cars, neighbors who waved with Botox smiles and talked smack the second the door shut. My family? Oh, they fit right in. Dad was a finance guy who loved two things: money and maintaining the illusion that he was the kind of man who deserved his wife's devotion. Mom was the queen of curated perfection: pearls, Pilates, passive-aggressive compliments. My brother, Ethan, golden boy. He played varsity everything, had straight white teeth, and could commit arson and still get praised for his potential. And me? I was the spare part, the glitch in their pretty picture. The daughter who asked too many questions and didn't care about maintaining the Hale family reputation. Basically, I was a walking PR nightmare. But when I ran away, I didn't do it out of teenage rebellion. I did it because I was done being invisible, and because, though I didn't know it at the time, my family was hiding something massive, something twisted, something that turned my entire life upside down. The city wasn't glamorous like I'd imagined. It smelled like exhaust fumes and wet concrete. But at least no one there expected me to be perfect. I rented a room in a shared apartment owned by a lady named Raquel, a former club dancer with a raspy voice, a tragic love life, and the world's biggest collection of scented candles. She took one look at me the night I showed up at her door, shaking, sweaty, clutching my backpack like it was a life raft, and said, "Girl, you look like life just body slammed you. Come inside." And just like that, I had a place to crash. I got a job bussing tables at a fancy rooftop restaurant filled with rich people pretending their marriages weren't crumbling. Watching them was like enjoying a live soap opera with better outfits. Between tips and night shifts, I started saving money. Real money. Enough to feel the ground under my feet for the first time. I thought I'd escaped the toxicity of my family's world. But the truth? I was about to be dragged right back into it, because the Hales never let go of their secrets. One evening, after a brutal shift where a customer called me sweetheart, like I was a golden retriever waitress robot, I came home to Raquel sitting on the couch with a glass of wine and a face that spelled trouble. "Don't freak out," she said, which obviously made me freak out. "Some guy came looking for you." My blood iced. What guy? Tall, expensive shoes, gave off major, my wallet is bigger than your dreams energy. That description screamed my father. What did he say? Raquel shrugged. "Just asked if you lived here." I said no, because duh. My dad had come to find me. Not my mom, not my brother, my dad. The man who barely remembered my birthday unless my mother reminded him. Something was off. Dad didn't do messy emotions. He sure as hell didn't chase down runaway daughters. If he was looking for me, it wasn't out of love. It was out of necessity. That scared me more than anything. 2 days later, a black SUV parked across the street from our apartment. Same model Dad drove, same tinted windows, same vibe that screamed, "We hide bodies and fake alibis." I panicked. Raquel panicked because I panicked. "Girl, what kind of people did you run away from? The mafia?" "Worse," I said. "Rich people." I stayed inside for 2 days, pacing, overthinking, peeking through the blinds like a paranoid squirrel. Then I got another voicemail. Not from Mom, but from Ethan. "Jess, just call me back, okay? Please." His voice cracked. Ethan never sounded emotional. He was born smug. Something was wrong, and I needed answers.
But before I could call him, something happened that changed everything. It was a Saturday night. I'd gone to my shift, thinking maybe I was imagining the SUV, maybe I was spiraling. But when I walked into the restaurant's back hallway, I saw him, my dad, standing there in his $1,000 coat, looking like a man who hadn't slept in days. "Jessica," he said. No smile, no scolding, nothing. Just my name, dragged out of him like a confession. I froze. My body went into survival mode. "What are you doing here?" I asked. "We need to talk." "About what?" "It's about your mother." His voice broke. My heart stopped. "What about her?" He swallowed hard. She's not well. She hasn't been since you left." I didn't trust him, not one bit. My dad could lie smoother than a politician in election season, but his eyes, they weren't cold this time. They were terrified. "Jessica, someone sent her something. Something about you." My stomach flipped. "What do you mean, sent her something?" "Pictures, messages, information." My heartbeat tripped. "What kind of information?" "The kind that destroys families." He looked around, paranoid. "The kind we cannot talk about here." I stepped back. "Dad, what the hell is going on?" He hesitated. Then, "You're not safe." That sentence gutted me. My family wasn't perfect, but danger, actual danger, that wasn't their style. My voice shook. "Why wouldn't I be safe?" "Because someone is targeting you, targeting us." The hallway felt like it was shrinking. He leaned in. "Please, come home." I should have run. I should have told him to get lost. But the part of me that still craved answers, still craved truth, forced me to ask, who's targeting us? Dad's jaw clenched. "Someone who knows our secrets." My throat dried. "What secrets?" He stared at me for a long, dark second, and then he said the thing that detonated my entire world. "Jessica, it's about your birth." Everything inside me froze. My birth? What the actual hell did that mean?
Before I could open my mouth, a server barged in with a tray of glasses, and Dad stepped back like nothing happened. "I'll wait outside," he whispered. "Do not leave through the front." Then he disappeared. I didn't finish my shift. I didn't breathe properly for at least 10 minutes. My father wasn't dramatic, ever. For him to show up shaking, talking about secrets and safety, something colossal was happening, and it had something to do with me. I exited through the back alley, heart slamming against my ribs. Dad's SUV was waiting. I approached slowly. I wasn't sure if I was walking toward answers or a trap. When I opened the door, Dad exhaled like he'd been holding his breath for days. Thank God. But before I could say a word, a shadow moved behind the car. A flash, a click, a camera shutter. Someone was taking photos of us. Dad cursed under his breath. "Get in, now." My instincts screamed danger, but another voice, the one craving truth, pushed me inside. The car doors locked automatically. Dad hit the gas. I gripped the seat. Who was that? The person I've been talking about. My pulse raced. "Dad, tell me the truth. What is going on?" He looked at me with haunted eyes. "Jessica, there's something about your mother's past that you don't know, and it didn't start with her. It started before you were born." My skin prickled. "Tell me." He shook his head. "I can't until we get home." I snapped. "Dad, I'm not going back to that house unless you talk." He clenched the steering wheel. "Fine. But once you hear this, you'll understand why we've been keeping secrets." We drove in tense silence down the highway, the city lights fading behind us. Then he finally spoke. "Jessica, you're not who you think you are." My breath lodged in my throat. "What does that mean?" His voice dropped. "You were never supposed to be part of this family." I stared at him, stunned, terrified, furious. He continued. "Your mother hid something from me for 18 years, something that is now coming back to destroy us." My heart crashed against my ribs. "Dad, say it." He took a shaky breath. "Jessica, you were kidnapped as a baby." The world stopped. My mind went blank. My body felt like air. "No," I whispered. "That's insane." "It's the truth," he said. "And the person who knows wants you back." My vision blurred. My blood screamed. My entire life, my memories, my identity shattered in an instant. "Dad, tell me everything." But he didn't, because the car suddenly spun hard to the right. Tires screeched. A black sedan slammed into us from behind. Dad yelled, grabbing the wheel. "Hold on!" I screamed. The world flipped. The windshield cracked into his spiderweb. Smoke filled the air, and everything went black. As consciousness slipped, I heard one last thing, a distorted voice outside the car saying my name. "Jessica, found you." I woke up in a place I didn't recognize, handcuffed, bruised, and staring into the eyes of a stranger who said, "I'm the one who's been looking for you. And sweetheart, we've got unfinished business." When I woke up, the world smelled like bleach and cold metal. My wrists were cuffed to a chair bolted to the floor, my head throbbing like I'd been hit by a truck. And technically, I had. My vision cleared slowly. Fluorescent lights buzzed overhead. A concrete room, no windows, bare walls, and standing right in front of me was a man I'd never seen before, wearing a tailored black suit like he'd just left a Wall Street meeting, not a kidnapping. He stared at me with a look that was way too calm for the situation. "Jessica Hale," he murmured, like he was testing the name. "Finally awake." My throat was sandpaper. "Who the hell are you?" He smiled, small, unsettling, confident. The kind of smile rich men wear when they know the game is rigged in their favor. "My name is Adrian." The name meant nothing, yet the way he said it sent a chill through me. "You've been following me," I said slowly, "taking photos, sending things to my mother." Correct. Why? Adrian crouched to eye level. Because you're mine. My stomach dropped. Try that line on someone who's not ready to bite your face off. He chuckled. You think I'm hitting on you? His voice sharpened. Jessica, I'm the one who's been looking for you since you were a baby. My breath turned to ice. No, I whispered. My father said, your father, Adrian corrected. The man who raised you, he stole you. Your mother helped cover it. My head spun. You're lying. I wish I were, but sweetheart, you weren't supposed to be a Hale. You were born into my family. His words crashed into me like a tidal wave. I didn't even know this man. How could he claim something like that? If I was kidnapped, I said slowly, why didn't my birth family find me? We tried. My mother never recovered. My father died searching. You were taken at 3 months old. The Hales moved states immediately, changed your records, paid people off. My stomach twisted. Why? Adrian stood and walked behind me. I heard a drawer open. Papers shuffled. Because your mother couldn't have children anymore. A complication during Ethan's birth. She wanted another baby, and your father, he wanted to fix their marriage. He told her he could handle it. A chill ran up my spine. Handle it how? He dropped a folder onto my lap. Inside were pictures. Grainy, old, some black and white. A woman holding a baby. Hospital bracelets. Police reports. Missing posters. My missing posters. I felt the air leave my lungs. I wasn't Jessica Hale. I was a stolen infant with someone else's last name. You've been stalking my family? I murmured. You sent things to my mom. You scared her half to death. She deserved it, Adrian said. Do you know what it's like watching your parents fall apart for 18 years? Listening to them blame themselves? Wondering if you were dead or suffering somewhere? His voice cracked for the first time. I didn't stalk out of malice. I stalked because nobody would tell the truth. I shook my head. Why now? Why come after me now? Adrian exhaled. Because your father found out I was close. He panicked. He started cleaning up old evidence, paying people off again. I couldn't let that happen. My chest tightened. My father is dead, I said quietly. He was in the crash. Adrian's expression didn't shift. I know. Which means the only person left who knows the entire truth is your mother. Something inside me snapped. My mom left me a voicemail, crying. She begged me to come home. Was she lying too? She's been lying for 18 years, he said flatly. But now she's scared. She knows the truth is about to come out. She knows she could lose everything. Her husband, her money, her reputation, her perfect Willow Crest life. I pulled against the cuffs. If you think I'm going to trust you, I don't need your trust. I need your testimony. Testimony for what? He leaned in. To expose her. To expose the entire Hale cover-up. To get you justice. I let out a shaky laugh. You kidnapped me. Only because your father tried to run you off the road before I could get to you. My heart stuttered. He tried to kill me? It wasn't the first time he suggested it. My stomach dropped. The man who raised me, who'd ignored me most my life, had tried to end it? You're lying. You know I'm not. Silence swallowed the room. I felt sick, betrayed, adrift. Why didn't you just talk to me? Because at first, you wouldn't have believed me. Second, your father surveilled me. Third, if I approached you in public, your mother would have spun it as harassment. And fourth, his jaw clenched. I was trying to keep you alive. I looked down. My wrists were raw from struggling. So what now? You keep me here forever? No, he said. You're free to leave. But first, you need to hear the full truth, and you need to see something. He unlocked my cuffs. My hands dropped, numb and shaking. I didn't know if running was the smart choice or the dumb one. Adrian walked to the far side of the room and opened a door. Come with me. I followed him, not because I trusted him, but because I wanted the truth more than I wanted air. The next room looked like a private office, photos on the wall, maps, documents, strings connecting names.
And in the center, a table with 2 folders. This, Adrian said, tapping the first folder, is everything my family collected about your disappearance. Then he tapped the second folder. And this is everything your parents did to hide it. I opened the second folder. Receipts. Fake birth certificate. A check to a hospital employee for $50,000. A forged adoption record. A doctor's signed statement saying you were born at home with no medical attendance. My entire life had been built on lies. Then, tucked in the back, there was a photograph. A baby. Me. Wrapped in a blanket. In my birth mother's arms. My chest constricted so hard I leaned on the table to steady myself. I didn't take you out of hate, Adrian said softly. I took you because you deserve to know where you came from, and because your mother, your real mother, asked me to find you. I froze. My real mother? He nodded. She's alive? Barely, he said. Cancer. She doesn't have long. My knees nearly buckled. She wants to meet you, he added, but only if you want to. Tears blurred my vision. I had spent my entire childhood being an afterthought, an inconvenience, a shadow. And somewhere out there, a woman had never stopped looking for me. Why didn't you tell me sooner? I whispered. Because I needed to make sure you were safe first. And you weren't. My chest burned. Take me to her. Adrian nodded once. We leave now. We drove for hours. The city faded into suburbs. Suburbs faded into farmland. Then finally, a small, quiet hospice home. Adrian stopped the car. I couldn't move at first. My body felt too heavy for my bones. She doesn't know if you'll hate her, he said gently. She thinks you might. Why would I hate her? Because she was unconscious the night you were taken. She blames herself, every day. I swallowed hard. Let's go. Inside, the halls smelled like lavender and disinfectant. Soft music played somewhere. Adrian led me to a door at the end of the hall. My hands shook violently. He knocked once, then opened it. She looked so small, frail, tubes in her arms, a red scarf on her head to hide hair loss. But her eyes, when she turned and saw me, went wide with recognition. Not confusion, recognition. Like her soul knew mine. She whispered one word, one that broke my heart open. Jessica. I walked to the bed slowly. She reached for my hand, her fingers trembling. I looked for you, she said. Every day, every birthday, every holiday, every night I prayed you weren't scared or hurt. Tears streamed down my face. I didn't know, I choked out. I didn't know you existed. She cupped my cheek with so much tenderness it physically hurt. You were loved before you were even born, she whispered, and you were stolen from me. I sobbed, hard, the kind of sob that rips through your ribs. She held me as much as her weak arms could. Promise me something, she whispered into my hair. Don't let them erase what happened. Don't let them pretend they didn't take you. I nodded through tears. I promise. She smiled softly. You looked just like your father. What was he like? Brave and stubborn, like you. I stayed with her until she fell asleep. She never woke up again. She passed 3 hours later. I held her hand until they took her away. I cried until my lungs hurt. Adrian stood outside the room the whole time, letting me fall apart without saying a word. When I finally walked out, he looked at me with something like respect. I'm sorry, he said quietly. I wish she could have had more time. She had enough to meet me. That's something. But grief wasn't the only burning in my chest. There was something else too. Fire. Rage. Purpose. Take me home. To the Hales? Yes. You sure? I'm not the scared kid they raised anymore. I'm the girl they stole. Adrian nodded. Then let's finish this.
When we reached Willow Crest Drive, everything looked exactly the same. Perfect hedges, perfect cars, perfect facades covering rotting foundations. We walked into the house without knocking. Mom was sitting at the dining room table, trembling, eyes red, clutching a glass of wine like it was her last lifeline. When she saw me, her face cracked. "Jessica." "Don't," I said, voice razor sharp. She stood. "Honey, I can explain." "No, you can confess." Her lips quivered. "It wasn't supposed to happen this way. You stole me," I yelled. "You stole me from a woman who loved me, a woman who died without getting to raise her daughter." She covered her mouth, sobbing. "I was desperate. Your father said he had a way. I didn't know." "You knew enough to lie for 18 years. She collapsed into the chair, shaking. "Please, don't destroy us. Don't take Ethan away from me. Don't take our life. You stole my life." She looked up with swollen eyes. "I loved you. I raised you." "You raised me like an afterthought," I shot back. "You loved the idea of having a daughter, not me." She sobbed harder. "Please, don't go to the police." "I won't," I said. She exhaled in relief, too soon, "because I'm going to someone bigger." Her brow furrowed. "What?" I lifted my phone, hit play. The recording of Adrienne revealing everything to me echoed through the room. Her face turned chalk white. "I'm giving this to the district attorney and to every major news outlet." "Jessica, you'll ruin us." "No," I said coldly. "I'm freeing myself." She reached for me.
I stepped back. Goodbye, Margaret. I didn't call her mom anymore. She didn't deserve it. She collapsed onto the floor, screaming my name, begging, pleading. I walked out with Adrienne behind me. I didn't look back. Some stories don't end beautifully. Some end with truth. And truth was the only justice I had left. A year later, the Hale scandal made national news. Kidnapping, fraud, conspiracy, cover-ups, manipulation. My mother went to prison. Ethan moved away. And me? I legally changed my name back to the one I was born with. Jessica Marlowe. I kept the last photo I had with my birth mother on my nightstand. Every day, I told myself the same thing. I survived lies. I survived being invisible. I survived being stolen. And now, I'm finally living a life that's actually mine. But the twist, the part I didn't see coming, Adrian didn't disappear after the trial. He stayed. He helped me rebuild my identity. He helped me find the pieces of myself I didn't know were missing. And somewhere in the middle of all the chaos, I realized he wasn't just the man who found me. He was the first person who saw me, truly saw me. And even though I wasn't ready then, even though my world was falling apart, he stayed anyway. People asked if I hated the Hales, if I wished things had gone differently. I always gave the same answer. Everything that broke me led me to the truth, and the truth led me home. But the real secret, the one I haven't told anyone, the night before my birth mother passed, when she held my face in her trembling hands, she whispered, "You're stronger than what they did to you. Don't let them define you. Don't let them win." So I didn't. I became the girl they never expected, the girl they stole, the girl who came back for truth, not revenge. And I became something else too, something terrifying to families like the Hales. I became unstoppable.